Hello from Becky and me, and welcome to this evening's programme.
First tonight, the man with one of the biggest jobs in the NHS as the new boss of Addenbrooke's Hospital.
Yes, it's long been the region's flagship, a hospital known around the world as a centre of excellence. But
the Cambridge University Hospitals Trust that runs Addenbrooke's has been losing £1 million a week, and in September it was put into special measures.
Well, today, the Trust's new chief executive, Roland said he's determined to turn it around by listening to the concerns of patients, staff, GPs and other health providers.
That interview in just a moment, but first Elodie Harper looks at the challenges he faces.
2 years ago, the Care Quality Commission considered Addenbrooke's one of Britain's safest hospitals, yet this year they rated its safety inadequate. So what brought about this reversal? In 2014, Addenbrooke's introduced the £200 million paperless EPIC computer system. Just a month later, there was a 20% drop in A&E performance, with doctors saying the whole system was fraught with problems. Then in September 2015, just days after the chief executive and chief financial officer resigned, Addenbrooke's and the Rosie Hospital were put into special measures by the CQC over revelations that staff shortages were putting patients at risk. It was also revealed the trust was losing £1 million a week.
We really see this as not being a quick fix. It is a long-term issue. Organisations like Addenbrooke's do need to be investing to make savings for the future rather than slashing to make emergency cuts. So we really need to see improved staffing, and that needs better recruitment so that we reduce the reliance on agency staffing.
The CQC singled out the hospital's management for criticism, rating its leadership inadequate. But Addenbrooke's is not the only hospital in financial difficulty. Unison say every one of the 18 acute trusts in the east of England are currently in deficit. Many blame the government for not giving Addenbrooke's the money it needs to thrive.
The problem that Addenbrooke's had is a mixture of things. It's partly the cuts to social care in Cambridgeshire, which makes it very hard for people to be discharged from hospital, and it's partly the fact the government just hasn't kept up with the needs of the health service in general. So Addenbrooke's is having, like most hospitals, are having a tough time.
The Department of Health say they transferred £3.2 billion from the NHS to social care over the course of the last Parliament, and will be investing an extra £10 billion in the NHS. But they say hospitals must live within their means by reducing agency staff and management consultants. Wherever the blame lies for Addenbrooke's current situation, everyone with a stake in the hospital, patients, staff and politicians, will now be hoping that the new management team will put its performance back on track, and soon. Elodie Harper, ITV News.
Well, as we said, Addenbrooke's new chief executive, Roland has worked for the NHS for 30 years.
Most recently, he's been credited with leading a turnaround in standards at King's College Hospital in London. Here is Elodie's interview.
Safety was rated inadequate by the CQC. What is being done right now to ensure that patients here are safe?
It's fantastic for me to come into the organisation and see our doctors, managers and nurses well engaged in what's a very comprehensive plan to address the quite legitimate concerns and challenges laid down by the Care Quality Commission. And I've already sat through a number of meetings where the leadership teams of the patient-facing services are able to assure me as to the actions they're taking to address the concerns set out by the CQC.
How will you get the hospital out of special measures, and how soon?
My first task really between now and Christmas is to listen to our patients, listen to our members of staff, and really importantly listen to the partners of CUH, so our colleagues in general practice, our partners in other hospitals, partners in social care and partners at the university and in local industry, and hear from them what they think CUH needs to be doing to improve the care that we offer to our patients. And if we focus on listening, immediate grip, longer-term strategy, I anticipate that the special measures issue is something that will go away, rather than focusing on the special measures issue as the immediate goal.
Staff shortages were highlighted by the CQC as one of the reasons why patients were potentially being put at risk. Why were there staff shortages, and what's being done to address that?
A huge amount's gone on since then to recruit nurses into the organisation, but also to think quite proactively about our capacity in the organisation and to see if we can avoid in the future opening capacity, opening beds in an unplanned way, which means that then nurses are moved from one part of the organisation to another part of the organisation. A lot of this is about really robust forward planning.
Will the £6 billion to the NHS, which is being front-loaded to the first year of the spending review that the government's just announced today, have a positive impact on Addenbrooke's? Will it make a big difference?
So clearly we're all delighted in the NHS when additional funding is made available, but it's important to think very hard about how we can best invest that money for the good of our patients. How much money will be available to this health economy is not yet clear, but when it does come through, I'll want to work very closely with my colleagues here at CUH, but particularly colleagues outside of the hospital and in other providers to work out